Great. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Farmer Fridays. My name's Cameron King. I'm CEO and ambassador for Certified American Grown, and today we're really honored to have Michael Genovese of Summer Dreams Farm with us up in Michigan. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing fantastic. The weather finally cooled down. I think it's like 72 degrees and there's a nice north breeze, and it's a lot better than the hot, muggy nonsense that we've had the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's one of those that's always one of the challenges of farming is the weather changes on you and it can shift and
Yes.
always something to adapt to.
Yeah, my heart goes out to all of our friends in the Pacific Northwest right now and everything that they're having to deal with. We fortunately finally started getting some rain over here, so we're in pretty good shape. But my heart goes out to all the growers that have had a challenging year this year.
It's definitely been a tough one. And Mother Nature is one of those variables that you can never control, but always have to work within the confines of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and here we are, summertime, and that is one of those things that across the country is an unknown, and we really have a wide variety of different weather conditions across the country to deal with in the
Hmm.
summer and all year long.
Hmm.
But for the most part, everybody across the country is in bloom this time of year, and so we celebrate American Grown Flowers Month in July. So happy American Grown Flowers Month.
Happy American Grown Flowers Month to you too. Yeah, it's really amazing that and the special time of July, the fact that everywhere from Alaska to Maine to California to Florida and everyone in between, all farms are producing flowers this time of year, are able to produce flowers this time of year. So there's no
Yeah.
reason why people aren't able to source fresh American grown flowers.
Absolutely. It's definitely a great time to celebrate country as we get ready for the 4th of July, but also celebrate the bounty that is being produced on our farms. So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about Summer Dreams Farm and how did you get into flower farming?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So, I grew up in agriculture. I actually grew up on a choose and cut Christmas tree farm, and I graduated from college and I was working in automotive purchasing and doing some other things. And I knew that I wanted to go back to the farm. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit from Christmas tree farming and diversify. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And a lot of types of ag, there's a huge barrier to entry in terms of cost and land, being able to have access to land and things. And it was kind of a surprise. We were given a gift of some dahlia tubers from a family friend, and my dad had planted them out in the garden. And when they started blooming, I was like, "What kind of flowers are these? These are amazing!" And I fell in love with them. And I had grown them for a few years, and I got up to a patch of like 50 dahlias. And then it just clicked in my head one day as I was giving these flowers to people, hey, maybe I can turn this into a business. And I knew someone on the west side of the state in Western Michigan that raised dahlias. So I called her up and I asked, hey, do you mind if I come over and help you on farm? I'd love to learn about this. And I didn't realize at the time how amazing it was that she actually accepted that and said yes. I know as a farmer, we all have incredibly busy schedules and people are asking to come out and visit or do this and that all the time. And it can be challenging. You want everybody on your farm to share the bounty of what you're doing, but it can be hard sometimes. But anyway, she let me come out to the farm and I helped her harvest dahlias. I helped her at the farmer's market. And then I went back for a day in the fall and I helped her dig and she showed me how to split dahlia tubers. So in 2015, I bought 5,500 dahlia tubers and jumped in head first. So that first year I had about a third of an acre, 5,500 dahlias. And then the next year I expanded out to about 16,000 plants and then about 35,000 plants. And then I jumped up to over 80,000,
Wow.
lost my mind and did 80,000, 5 acres. That made me one of the largest dahlia growers in the country
Sure.
in my third year or fourth year growing rather. And I scaled back after that. I had a really rough year in 2018. A lot of things happened. My dad had passed away.
Mhm.
I grew the business too quickly, and there's growing pains with that and things I didn't
Sure.
address. So I learned some lessons and I scaled back a little bit. And today I grow around 3.5 acres of dahlias. Um, And I think I'm the largest grower in the Midwest of dahlias and probably one of the top 10, 15 largest growers in the country of dahlias. And we also do some sunflowers. We do some zinnias. I've got about 3/4 of an acre of peonies planted that are still getting established. So I'm broadening my what we're growing a little bit more,
Sure.
but we still specialize in dahlias.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you share a story that a lot of people don't realize, and that is that the American cut flower and foliage community is really that. It's a community, and people are willing to share and support each other in learning and growing and how to be better farmers together. And I think that's
That's
pretty
one
special.
thing. I grew up in ag, and I didn't realize how special the agricultural community is, and also the cut flower community is compared to other organizations. So other businesses, it's a lot more competitive of a mindset. You want to hide your special sauce or whatever makes you unique from the competition, because that puts you at a competitive advantage. But in farming and flower farming, everyone's so willing to share for the betterment of the community as a whole. That's why I'm a huge supporter of agricultural organizations. Certified, I serve on the board representing the Midwest of Certified American Grown, this organization.
Mhm.
But I'm also a member of a lot of other agricultural organizations. And the importance of sharing that knowledge to better the industry as a whole, rather than hoarding your secrets. It's something really special and unique in the agricultural community.
Agreed, agreed. And your leadership extends beyond just certified American grown. And as you mentioned, Farm Bureau and others, you've really become active and an advocate in public policy issues as well,
Yeah.
including meeting with the Secretary of Ag recently and having good
Yeah.
relationships with members of Congress.
Yeah.
Why is that important to you?
So, well, yeah, just like you said, a couple of weeks ago, I met with the current Secretary of Ag. In 2019, I had Sonny Perdue, the former Secretary of Ag, visit my farm in 45 minutes one-on-one, share the story of farmer, not only farmers, but young farmers. I'm 34, so there aren't too many people my age getting into agriculture anymore. And then cut flower farmers, and like to be able to share that with the Secretary of Agriculture, arguably the most influential person regarding agriculture in the country, to share the story that only 22% of the flowers that are sold in the United States are actually grown here. The vast majority is imported. Is something that he wasn't even aware of.
Yeah.
And when you can share that, it helps them craft better policy that allows us to continue to farm in the future. One of the big things to answer your question that you had just asked me, why am I an advocate and why do I do this? My mantra, and I need to frame it and put it on a wall like as an inspirational poster or something, but my mantra is, if you don't share your story, someone else will share it for you, and you might not like what they have to say.
So true.
And the importance of getting out and sharing that story, it can't be understated. There's a lot of people that think they know what's going on, that like to there's a lot of assumptions. People go to the grocery store and just they see fresh flowers and they just assume that it's grown locally. But if you don't share that story, you're never going to be able to change things. In fact, I just had someone the other day ask me, Mike, why are you so open? Why are you sharing all of these things, even if it's like dirty laundry kind of things? Why are you sharing this? And it's like, because it's important for people to know. You're never going to change anything if you hide behind the curtain or just put your head down and get the work done and expect people to come and buy your product. It's important to share your story. People like having that connection to agriculture, and knowing where their food is grown and how it's grown and the importance of why we do what we do. All of it meshes together. There's no one reason, but I believe very strongly for a long time that it's important to share your story. And by doing that, I've also seen how you can actually influence policy. I know our organization, Certified American Grown, has had a direct impact on policy. Right now, importers of flowers weren't even following directions on how they're supposed to label their product. And right now, because of our actions as an organization, we are seeing more labeling on flowers that are coming in from overseas. And without individual farmers being involved in the organization and calling their representatives and making their voices heard, that change wouldn't happen.
Right, and it's important for our consumers and people who love flowers and foliage to know where it's coming from, so they can
Absolutely.
support and really be fanatics of American grown products.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
know the majority of Americans would choose to buy an American product if they have the option. So yeah.
absolutely. Well, speaking of buying products, how can folks find your farm and your products?
Okay, so I'm a little bit different in my business model. So since I specialize in dahlias, one of the reasons why I chose dahlias, I stumbled into it and it actually worked out in my favor, I should say, is dahlias don't ship very well. So people have a really hard time transporting them a long distance. You don't really get dahlias imported from overseas because the flowers would fall apart. They have a shorter lifespan and they're really fragile. It doesn't take much for them to damage when they arrive. So I just sell my flowers regionally. So throughout southeastern Michigan, I'm about 45 minutes north of Detroit in Oxford, Michigan. And people can pick up their flowers from me at the farm. I have a lot of florists. I have several wholesalers that pick up flowers from me directly at the farm. I sell at the Rochester Farmers Market starting in August. I sell at Plum Market grocery stores. So that's a local grocery chain that we have out here. But with my business model, I haven't been interested in mass distribution or shipping nationwide. We're a smaller farm. Like I said, I've only got about 3.5 acres of dahlias. Total production's about 5 acres. I've got right now I've got 8 different people that are on payroll, and some of those people are part time, some are full time. But we're smaller. So I mass distribution and shipping like that just hasn't fit our business model. But we provide lots of flowers all August and September.
Awesome. Well, and for folks to enjoy the beauty of what you are growing in your fields, whether it be the dahlias or sunflowers or peonies or the like, you have a really spectacular social media presence. And so, if anyone
Thank
wants
you.
to follow
Yeah.
along with your journey and your life on the farm, what are the handles that they can reach you?
So
And
Summer Dreams Farm. If you type Summer Dreams Farm, you'll find me. I've got I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I share quite a bit on there, and a lot of behind the scenes farm things too. If you look at the stories, I try and keep up on that regularly. And then
sure.
also I have a website, so all the information on how to buy, when we host different events. We host an open house out at the farm every year.
Great.
In 2009, we couldn't do it last year because of COVID,
Right.
but in 2019, when we last did it, we had about 1,200 people from the farm. People drove all the way from as far as Georgia to come up and see the farm here in Michigan. And we do large floral displays, and we grow around 210 different varieties of dahlias. So
Wow.
I have all of those on display too. So there's a lot of fun ways to get involved and interact with the farm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you spending some time with us today, and I'd love to give you the opportunity to give one final closing thought to any of our folks that you might have to share or wishes or anything. But
Yeah, well, I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you, and just if I could share anything with the folks that are watching right now, the flower farmers, it's not just a business. We are supporting local communities. Like I said, I've got 8 people that live in the local community that work for us on the farm. And when you are looking out and buying American grown product, you look for that label that you see behind Cameron, or you buy from your local flower farmer. You're not just supporting um, uh, a large business or someone that's importing flowers. You're supporting people in your local community and keeping money in that local community and keeping it thriving. Like I said, the majority of flowers that are sold in the United States are grown abroad, and we're working hard to flip that number back around. So
absolutely.
buy local. Your product's going to be better. It'll be fresher. It'll last longer, and you're supporting the local community.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, thank you again so much for your time. We really appreciate you spending a little bit with us, and wish you all the very best for a great American Grown Flowers Month and a wonderful season this year.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much.
so much. Thank you.
All right.